Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Isaac Pog. It's here. Oh, we don't do that anymore. I forgot. Anyway, Tainted Maggie to the Lamb. That's a nice little gentle way to be starting our morning here. I'm trying out a new character. It's a guy who lies about what time of day it is. It's 3:42 p.m. Now starting up our day. Actually, like, can I give you a psycho brag for a minute? I woke up at 6:06 a.m. this morning, of my own volition, essentially. And I'm here to tell you something. Look, like, why did I get up early? Well, I wanted to make sure I had time to work out. And honestly, there's nothing like the feeling of waking up before your alarm and feeling good. Like, if you wake up before your alarm and you feel bad, it's okay because at least you get the sensation of going back to sleep and you're like, maybe this extra 45 minutes is gonna sort me out, copium. But waking up before your alarm and being like, nah, I'm ready to go, that's a great sensation. But an even greater sensation is praising the Lord. I thought that would just be a funny little add-on there. An even greater sensation is when you go to bed and you're tired before your normal bedtime. And that's what happened last night. I went to bed and I was like, maybe I'll watch an episode of Archive 81 on Netflix. And got about 10 minutes into the episode, my brain was like, I'm tired. And I was like, you promise? Because you know, like, when you're tired, being tired when you wake up is bad. Being tired when you got half of your day left sucks the big one. When it's like 1 p.m., but you got a lot of stuff to do, and you don't go to bed till, like, 10:30 or later, you're like, oh man, this is a nightmare. But we should give this a try. When you go to bed at, your normal time, and then you feel asleep, I know what I said. Try me. That's when you're like, this is Pog. Okay, now this is Pog. Because that's the thing. Being tired is not a bad feeling. Being tired when you know you're about to go to sleep is an amazing feeling. It's like being hungry sucks. Hold on. But being hungry when you know you're about to eat, like literally as your food comes out onto the table, that's like good. If I could make myself hungry just in that instant, I would be thrilled. Please drop HP, like an HP upgrade. I didn't want to pick that up, you beast, because I wanted to play that deal some more. Whatever, I'm out of here. See you later. Give me the HP. The HP is going to be, it's going to be nice. It's going to be worth it. I wanted to play the sacrifice room some more. Alas, it's not going to happen, but that's okay. Whatever, hit me. Honestly, I saw the other one. It was Judgment. I do not care for it right now. I like a Tainted Maggie run. It's honestly like a pretty head-empty character to play as most of the time, which I think works with my intellectual capacity. Lots of synergies. Such an insult, man. 5% chance of spawning dead bird. Incredible. After killing an enemy or after getting hit? I can't remember. Killing an enemy wouldn't be so bad. Getting hit it's a genuine slap in the face. Anyway, what am I up to? Not too much. It's a Thursday. It's been good streams this week. I've kind of settled into the summer of George, I've been talking about a game drought for some time. I still think we're in a little bit of a game drought, but, if every week or two I can find one more thing that I can play 2 or 3 times, and then mix it up with some Mario. We PB'd today, spoilers. The run of my life. If you mix it in with some Mario, you mix it in with some Super Auto Pets, you mix it in with a little Vampire Survivors, like, I'm having a good time. I feel like I'm kind of in a groove right now. Definitely will take this. And we're going to the Lamb. Oh, this is very doable. You know what? This is very scary. But on the other hand, this could be one of the rare opportunities for this to actually be amazing. So it's going to hurt. But then we just use Yum Hard 2 times, and we're off to the freaking races. Would you look at that? I think we'll just go with the Bible. It's a little bit easier to use. A little bit more head empty, which is kind of like what I'm looking for here. As always. Yeah, so we've been playing Rogue Tower, which you might be familiar with. You might have seen some other people play it. You might have even seen me play it. A fun roguelite tower defense game that could probably use a little bit of UX smoothing, you know, in order to simplify the experience for people such as myself, but I'm having a great time with it. Dude, hold on. Taking damage creates a projectile. Taking damage creates a dead bird. It's the worst synergy of all time, and I'm loving it. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, it's been good. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. Nothing really else going on. My life has been pretty standard, really. Hitting the Peloton every day. You know what? I've added a new hobby to my life. That new hobby is drinking a little tea. Now, I'm not a tea guy. I couldn't tell you the difference between a sativa and an indica. I'm just letting that joke simmer for a second. But, it happened to me. I've always been well, you know, since I've been, you know, an employed adult, I've been a coffee drinker. I enjoy the taste of coffee. I enjoy bitter flavors to begin with. Not as much, like, I'm not out of my mind. You know, I maybe might prefer, like, a sweet. Might prefer a salty, but like bitter, I got some appreciation for the bitter flavors as well. Tea just always struck me as like, every time I drank it, I was just like, this is basically just like water, which is fine. I'm not trying to insult water, but I would be like, I don't know. Look, I was a picky eater as a child, as I've said many times, but that also extended to drinks. Like for a while, I genuinely just didn't understand the appeal of hot drinks. Like a hot apple cider. And the honest answer is like, they taste good. You could also be like, you know, on a cold day, it's nice to drink something hot because it warms you up, whether like literally or psychosomatically. And if you believe that, then that's fine. It might be true for all I know. Now remember, you gotta save Yum Heart. Unless you're literally dying, save Yum Heart. But I just, as a youngster, I was just like always like, thanks, a beverage I can drink in, you know, 10 minutes when it cools down. The world? Yeah. I'll take a pill. It's gonna be good. I told you. I've got Cheat Engine open in the background. It said health up. I said, you know what? Let's pretend. Let's pretend. I don't know what it is. You scared the crap out of me. I used the world card. That's how scared I was. I used the world card for no reason. Then as I got older, I started, you know, I became a coffee drinker. Most, you know, I drink like some instant coffee. That usually you just have like a hot water heater or something like that, or, you know, a kettle and you pour it over the coffee ground. So I would always have it hot. And then I started to get it. But I've become much more of like a cold beverage drinker again. I drink all my coffee cold. I'll get an iced coffee in the middle of December. It doesn't bother me. I'd rather just be able to drink it right away. I prefer the flavor, quite frankly. Not all foods are meant to be consumed hot. I'm not saying coffee is better cold, but you know, nobody ever goes into the ice cream parlor and says, hey, can you warm that up for me? That's all I'm saying. Maybe it's a false dilemma, but the reason I started drinking tea is because I don't want to drink any more caffeine. But my throat was getting kind of hoarse from yelling and overuse. So I said, okay, my wife's always got these like loose leaf, you know, teas that don't have caffeine in them. That might be a way to kind of like heal what ails me. I probably had 4 cups of tea yesterday, and let me tell you, I woke up. It might be circumstance. It might be a little luck. It might be coincidence. But I woke up and my throat felt amazing, even though I was shouting all day yet again. Also, I've made a conscious effort to maybe speak in more of a hushed whisper. I promise you it's not to try to trigger any kind of like ASMR parasocial response. It's actually just, I don't think the human mind was meant to shout or the human voice was meant to shout as much as I'm shouting. I need to, like, figure out what they do, what esports commentators do. If they're going to be live 5 days a week making this kind of noise. You know what? I'm stupid. Get owned. Virgo, by the way. What a get here. What a get. Oh, thank you. Dude, our fire rate's going to be insane. Seems to synergize nicely with pencil. Incredible. Sure, sure. We're going to take some damage on the way down, but then we're going to yum hard our way back up. That's fine. We're also, like, it's only 9 minutes in. Holy cow. I don't want to insult Daniel, but what would he say if we beat his speedrun time where he's holding R for every single run to try to start with, you know, Brimstone, try to start with Mega, stuff like that? What if we just beat it right here? We won't, because I'm pretty sure it's like 1358. But if we got like Blank Card Emperor, we'd be right in there, man. By the way, in case... I feel like I'm very much late on the Netflix now. I have gone from a recommender to a recommendee for sure. At some point in my life that it just happened that way. It used to be, you know, the AV club would recommend something and then I'd be like, yo, have you guys heard about this show? And like 25% of chat would be like, yeah, 75% would be like, no. That is not the case anymore. Now I'm like, what's good on Netflix? And chat's like, here's a list of every show that they've released in like the past 6 months. Here's the good ones, here's the trash ones. And I'm like, thank you, I appreciate that. But I did start watching, and I'm about like halfway through, maybe like less than halfway through. Started watching Archive 81. Actually a very interesting and effective horror television show. Now, I'm just going to tell you because I know people are, occasionally they have strong feelings about horror. Thus far, it's not like jump scare horror, if that's what bothers you. It's more eerie, it's more creepy, it's a little unsettling. Did I just see what I saw? Is something gonna, you know, walk behind them through that door, etc., etc. But also, if you don't like watching horror stuff, then I respect that. I was like that for a period of my life as well. Now I like horror stuff a lot, but there is still, like, I don't know when it happened. I guess I was like a young adult when I started watching, you know, horror movies with more regularity. Actually, like, I saw some horror movies in the theater, but usually, like, if you're going to the theater to see some horror movies, like, just to be straight with you, they're usually, like, bad. If you're going to the Cineplex in January, like, you're probably not seeing a movie like Hereditary. You're probably seeing a movie like, you know, Darkness Falls, where the Tooth Fairy turns evil. So, look, I don't mean to insult the horror genre, but I think it was like when I got a little bit older. I remember for Halloween one year, my friends and I watched Suspiria. And I was like, what the heck, this movie... We didn't say Pog back then. We would say something like, what the heck, this movie's legit. I thought it was going to be sketch, but it's so legit. And it kind of, there's like a certain element of, like, horror movies and TV shows, like, they run the gamut, right? You get some that are like, you know, just turn off your brain and like, oh, that's a monster, just kidding, it's a cat. Oh, but the monster was behind the cat, you know? But then you also get some that are like a little bit more cerebral. I don't know if, I mean, Suspiria is a little cerebral. I haven't seen the Amazon Prime remake. I've only seen the original Dario Argento film, but... This is more cerebral, but I will say, if you don't like horror, more power to you. Watch whatever you like. But if you do like horror, and then I understand that I don't say the word as enunciated as a lot of people would like. I apologize for that as well. I should not have done that. If you don't like the horror genre, more power to you. Watch something else, you know? I'm not going to try to force your hand. No? No. No? Alright, when I said no, what I meant was like... What I meant was like, yes? Fruity Plum, of all things? What a world. Alright, so things are going to be scary for us when we go down here. Because we're going to lose, like, all of our red hearts. But, wait a minute, hold on. What if there's a battery charge? I never should have used Yum Heart. That's the problem. But, alas, what's done is done. So, yeah, that's basically my life. Like, Chib said, hey, you know what, NL, you should do a day of my life vlog. But I'm familiar with, you know, Chib's sense of humor. I think what he's basically saying is your life seems kind of like boring and routine. It would be very funny to stage a video. And I don't take offense to that. That's actually an incredible compliment. Most people are out of control. I think what he's basically saying is, wouldn't it be funny if you did one of those videos where you're like, here's all the crazy stuff that goes on in my life, but it's actually just like, this is what I do every day? But I can just tell you, you know? You wake up usually around like 7 a.m., ride the Peloton, eat some breakfast, feed the baby a juice, say goodbye as wife and baby go to daycare. Following that, start the stream for 5 hours, eat some lunch, record 2 to 4 videos. Go pick the baby up from daycare, cook the baby dinner, cook myself and my wife dinner. Alright, dude, we're actually cracked now. Not just at the game, but at the dinner cooking. Like, we've been doing it for a long time. You know, they go up for bath time, they go up for nursing. I take that time to, like, set my YouTube videos. YouTube videos done setting around, like, you know, sometime between 7:30 and 8:30. Do some dishes, clean up the house, you know, do some recycling, some composting, take out the garbage if you gotta take out the composting. Watch one episode of some kind of, like, television program before bed, and then that's the end. So, like, right now, when you might be like, where's the anecdotes? That's, if you can find them in there, then let me know. That being said, I do need to report that I do have an anecdote. I apologize if you're a stream viewer, because I did talk about this one on stream. But I had a run-in. What the heck? Hold on a moment here. We got a... My door has just opened up. Oh, okay. It's my wife. That's fine. I was just making sure. It was Kate. Everyone, because she's supposed to be streaming right now. When I heard our front door open and close, I immediately was like, this is it. This is for the pot play. Pew! Anyway, I was at the grocery store the other day, well, literally yesterday. I was using the self-checkout, very common source of disdain for me, but I only had a couple of items. I figured, what's the worst that could happen? So I was scanning things. I'm very familiar with how to use the self-checkout. You may think of me as a boomer, but please keep in mind the self-checkouts started coming around when I was like 22 years old. So I've been immersed in them. You know, I understand the utility. I understand the flaws. I understand the strengths. The strength is you don't have to talk to another human being. The flaw is oftentimes you end up having to talk to another human being because the machine thinks you're stealing something. But we're not going down that road yet. So I was scanning stuff. Everything was fine. Then I scanned this bunch of carrots that I had. And it scanned at $27.99. And I said, absolutely not. This is supposed to be like $3.99 or something like that. Thank you. So I hit edit cart, which was a button on the thing, and then I deleted the carrots from the cart, but it said, hold on, you need a manager's approval to do this, and the big flashing light went off that was like, wee wee, idiot detected. So a nice grocery store clerk came over and said, what seems to be the problem? And I explained the carrots scanned wrong. Maybe she could just punch them in manually, or I could punch them in manually if she tells me the code. And she said, yeah, no problem. She authorizes the removal of the carrots from the cart. Scans the code, or puts the code in. It's like $3.99, right? Then she says, okay, best of luck to you. Everything's fine, right? Except, while she was doing this, she had held like a price gun in her hands. And she left it on the scale that the self-checkout uses to determine whether you're trying to steal something. Even though literally like 99% of the alarms, probably 99.9% of the alarms that it sends off are false positives. That hurts. That hurt. Regardless, she left her her tool on the scale, and then as soon as she like authorized it, like override the alarm, this is okay, she took the tool off. So when I tried to scan something, it was like, the weight isn't what it's supposed to be. You need a manager's approval for this. So she basically, you know, she threw me kind of like a suicide pass. Then, like, you gotta keep in mind that from her perspective, essentially, she left me alone for like a second, and then the alarm went off again. So she probably thought I was the biggest idiot on the planet. But she walked back with like such disdain in her body language, and then just said to me, "It seems like you're having a lot of trouble here. Let me just do it for you." And then she checked me out at the self-checkout. It was like the most emasculated I've felt in my entire life. But I mean, you know, I was also laughing because I was like, this is going to be a funny story to tell. But there was a part of me that was like, it was you who left your thing on the scale. You don't even realize it. But I don't want to tell you, I don't want to get in an argument at the grocery store. Like, I don't really care that much. I hope that she was telling, like, her coworkers, like, man, the world's biggest idiot came through the self-checkout. I actually had to scan every item for him because he couldn't figure it out. It was pretty good, though. I was telling this to chat as well, who you might be, by the way, but I always, whenever a story like that happens to me in public, I'm always more happy than sad because I know I'll get to tell it on stream. I very rarely, like, even if I get mistreated as a customer in public, I don't get mad that often. Mostly because I'm like, this is gonna make for a great story later. Like when we were disrespected at that deli, and then they said, you know, why haven't you been helped yet? And I said, you tell me. And then they said, wait a minute, are you guys all together? And I said, yeah, is that okay? Why would you use Yum Heart right there? Like, just think for a second. Oh man, I still think about that. The day of the deli counter. Oh man. Why haven't you been helped yet? You tell me. Whoa, you guys are all together? Yeah. Is that gonna be a problem? And then she was like, no. Oh, anyway, sorry. I'm like literally never rude. You know I'm never rude. Well, to the service staff. I legitimately didn't even bring up that the pricing gun was on the scale, and I'm not stupid. You know, it was just a misunderstanding. That's how you know, like, I'm not, going out picking fights. This lady at the deli counter back in, I don't know, it was like October this year, she just had an attitude. She thought that I had screwed up the ordering system somehow, when really it's your stupid process here. Why don't you just have people take a number and then come up to the counter? It's worked like that for like literally 1,000 years. It's already like pre-COVID authorized. Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to. But I felt so powerful just reliving that moment, honestly. Felt great. Oh no, my HP! I might actually die. But if I don't die, I'm probably going to live forever. I mean, you gotta admit, this is a weird era for Isaac. Like, I'm willfully taking items like Blood Oath. That's not typical. It's not a normal strategy. That's not a sane approach to this game. And yet, here I am. I do feel like it wouldn't be the worst thing if we just got a card like the sun. Because I think that the only thing that really screws us is building up our HP after Blood Oath pops. I do also feel the need to say, like, it's kind of crazy how bad our stats are after Blood Oath works. Like, considering... Is there a word for, like, a lack of utility? Considering the badness of this item, how could it possibly give you such, like, mediocre stats? What a ripoff, man. Alright, that felt pretty good. We also have a Yera rune. I gotta figure out what the heck... I mean, I guess we could try to duplicate the chests on the dark room. That doesn't seem so bad. Because, like, one incredible item could really help us out. At this point, like, if it's a spacebar item especially, that is a slap in the face. That was... I'm actually a little offended by the fact that that's what they gave us. Like, the best item we got on this run, you're not going to hear this very often, but the best item we got on this run was actually Virgo. Which is... Help? Help me? What have I done? What happened? What's going on? That's not how you're normally supposed to do that room. Are you supposed to hit one button, kill the boss, and get out? I'm all twisted up, man. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. But, you know, like, we don't need to necessarily beat this drum every time we play Isaac, but, you know, it's kind of a typical Isaac experience, is like, you either ball out of control, or you're at the end of the game going like, how the heck did we get here with only like 5 HP? I thought this run was kind of good. Or, you know, how the heck did we get here with only like 3.6 damage? I thought we were popping. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, right, range up, range up, range up, range up. Item that makes you fart. Funny fart item. Okay. That's my fault. I shouldn't have stood there. Don't use the Bible here. That's a classic mistake. Dude, honestly, butt brimstone. Actually, if you are a psycho and you're not afraid to take some time to actually target it, actually is doing like a stupid amount of damage. I had no idea. Okay, it is. We should probably just shoot. I had no idea it had that kind of DPS potential. Not really applicable for every situation. Should send more bombs out. I mean, dude, this is kind of... Like, we're only 2 hits away from dying. Mind you, we do have some support. Like, if we get hit, we'll probably generate some HP off of the hit, but still. I was really hoping I might get you there. We gotta get some of this HP, man. Just throw some bombs. At least, I don't know, they kind of like fly around and do something, right? Help me! Good, good, good. I'm just dropping them. There, that was a great one. Get that, get that. We lived, we lived, we lived. Okay, easy. Then we'll lose like almost no HP, which is actually probably like a good thing for us. Then we pop Yumheart. Then we pop Yera. And we see what we got. We could become Guppy here in theory. Okay, like be smart. We're not going to become Guppy, but Sack Dagger's great here. Pact is probably great here. I mean, I don't see how Bloody Gust couldn't be great here. There is a part of me that is like, I feel like you should be dying a little bit faster, but maybe I don't know what I'm asking for. Maybe I'm asking for too much. You know what I think our problem is? Now I'm realizing with, like, Bloody Gust, we're already at peak tier rate, right? Hey, Bookworm, we love to see that. So peak tier rate is not helping us out that much, but... I think we did okay on that, you know, that deal with the Devil, Yera. Feel like on average, you know, probably 3 out of every 8 deal with the Devil items being useful actually seems like a pretty representative, sample, if you will. I apologize for my surly attitude. It's just, you know... Nothing will tilt you in this game. Like, getting all the way to the end of the game and being like, what? I'm destined to lose because of my damage? We might not be in that position, though. Don't... Literally, all I had to do was press Q. Alright, well, I apologize. But also, I had fun regardless. Hope you enjoyed the story about the grocery store self-checkout. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time. See ya.